This, of course, came as a huge shock, and William and I have been doing everything we can to process and manage this privately for the sake of our young family.
At first, it seemed like nothing more than another royal headline competing for public attention. Yet within hours, a single report had sparked questions across Britain, triggered intense debate among royal watchers, and placed one of the most closely observed members of the royal family at the center of a growing controversy. What really happens when private family tensions collide with public perception, and why do certain stories spread so quickly before all the facts are known? As the discussion intensified, many observers began asking whether the story itself was becoming more important than the event that supposedly inspired it. For decades, one of the greatest challenges facing the British monarchy has not been constitutional questions or ceremonial duties, but something far more difficult to control: public perception. Every generation of the royal family has faced moments when headlines seem to take on a life of their own, transforming private conversations into national debates and turning ordinary events into symbols of much larger struggles. That reality has become even more complicated in the modern media era, where information travels globally within minutes, and where public opinion can shift before official statements are ever released. The latest controversy appeared to follow a familiar pattern. A report emerged claiming that tensions had surfaced during what was described as a private royal gathering. Almost immediately, competing interpretations began to appear. Some commentators believed the story reflected deeper divisions inside royal circles. Others questioned whether the reporting itself had accurately represented what actually happened. And that distinction would prove incredibly important, because whenever a royal story explodes across newspapers, television programs, and social media platforms, two separate conversations usually begin at the same time. The first conversation focuses on the event itself. The second conversation focuses on who benefits from the public reaction. That is where the story becomes far more interesting. Many longtime followers of the monarchy noticed that the debate quickly expanded beyond the alleged incident. Instead, discussions began focusing on larger questions involving image, influence, popularity, and the future direction of the institution itself. Why? Because certain members of the royal family naturally attract enormous public attention. Catherine, Princess of Wales, has spent years building a reputation centered around duty, stability, family, and charitable work. As the wife of Prince William, the future king, Catherine, Princess of Wales occupies a uniquely significant position within the monarchy's future. Every public appearance is analyzed. Every photograph is discussed. Every statement is examined. As a result, even minor controversies can generate extraordinary interest. Royal commentators have frequently observed that Catherine, Princess of Wales, enjoys a level of public popularity that places enormous expectations on every aspect of royal life. Supporters often praise Catherine, Princess of Wales, for maintaining a calm and measured approach despite intense scrutiny. Yet popularity creates its own challenges. The more admired a public figure becomes, the more attention is directed toward potential mistakes, misunderstandings, or controversies. That dynamic has affected countless public figures throughout history, and members of the royal family are certainly no exception. But another question soon emerged. Why did this particular story capture so much attention so quickly? Some royal analysts suggested that the answer had less to do with the alleged incident and more to do with broader public fascination surrounding the future of the monarchy. After all, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, represent the next generation of royal leadership. Whenever stories involve figures associated with the monarchy's future, public interest naturally increases. People are not merely evaluating a headline. People are evaluating what that headline might suggest about the institution itself. Could the controversy indicate changing relationships within royal circles? Could it reveal pressures behind palace walls? Or could it simply demonstrate how rapidly speculation can spread when information remains incomplete? Those questions continue to circulate as commentators offered competing explanations. Meanwhile, another factor was impossible to ignore. The royal family has experienced several years of intense public discussion involving succession, modernization, media relationships, and public expectations. King Charles III has overseen a period of transition unlike any seen in recent decades. Prince William continues preparing for future responsibilities. Prince Harry, and Meghan Markle remain subjects of ongoing international interest. And throughout these developments, public curiosity about internal royal dynamics has remained extraordinarily high. Perhaps that explains why even a relatively small story was able to generate such significant attention. Yet many experienced royal observers cautioned against reaching conclusions too quickly. History has repeatedly shown that initial reports often fail to capture the full picture. Sometimes the first version of a story survives. Sometimes later information changes everything. And sometimes the real story turns out to be the public reaction itself. So as debate intensified and questions continued to multiply, one issue remained unresolved. Was this simply another short-lived media controversy destined to disappear within days? Or was it the beginning of a much larger conversation about reputation, influence, and the future image of the royal family? That question would soon lead to a series of developments few observers had anticipated. Before we continue, if you enjoy thoughtful royal analysis that goes beyond the headlines and explores the bigger picture behind the stories shaping the monarchy, make sure to subscribe and join our community. Because what happened next would shift attention away from the original controversy and toward a much deeper question that few people were asking at the beginning.
As public discussion continued to grow, something fascinating began to happen. The focus gradually shifted away from the original controversy and toward a much larger question that has followed the royal family for generations. How much of what the public believes is shaped by facts, and how much is shaped by perception? For Catherine, Princess of Wales, the timing could hardly have been more significant. Over the past several years, Catherine, Princess of Wales, has become one of the most recognizable and admired figures within the monarchy. Whether attending charitable engagements, representing the crown alongside Prince William, or supporting causes connected to children and mental health, Catherine, Princess of Wales, has carefully built an image based on consistency, professionalism, and dedication to royal duty. That reputation did not appear overnight. It was constructed through thousands of public appearances, countless interactions with citizens, and years of maintaining composure under extraordinary levels of scrutiny. This is precisely why royal observers became so interested in the latest controversy. Because stories that appear inconsistent with an established public image tend to attract even more attention than stories that reinforce it. Many commentators pointed out that the situation created an unusual contradiction. On one side stood the image the public had come to know. On the other stood allegations that seemed difficult to reconcile with that image. Whenever those two realities collide, curiosity inevitably follows. And curiosity soon evolved into investigation. Not necessarily official investigations, but rather the type of examination that occurs whenever journalists, commentators, historians, and royal watchers begin asking deeper questions. Who originally reported the story? How reliable were the sources? What information could be independently verified? Were important details missing? Most importantly, why were so many different versions of events circulating at the same time? These questions created a new phase of the controversy. Instead of debating personalities, many observers began debating credibility. That shift proved extremely important, because once credibility becomes the central issue, attention moves away from emotion and toward evidence. Several royal commentators noted that the modern monarchy operates in an environment completely different from the one faced by previous generations. During earlier decades, palace officials often had days or even weeks to respond to developing stories. Today, narratives can spread worldwide before breakfast. A single article can trigger thousands of reactions within minutes. A rumor can travel faster than a clarification. And a perception can become established long before all relevant facts emerge. Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, understand this reality better than most. As future king and future queen, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, exist under a level of observation that few public figures experience. Every appearance is photographed. Every interaction is analyzed. Every expression becomes the subject of interpretation. Yet this level of attention creates another interesting challenge. The more visible someone becomes, the easier it is for different groups to project their own assumptions onto events. Supporters may see one thing. Critics may see another. Neutral observers may see something entirely different. As a result, identical events can generate completely different conclusions. This is where the broader discussion surrounding the monarchy began to emerge. Some analysts argued that the controversy reflected growing public fascination with the future of the institution. King Charles III currently leads the monarchy during a period of significant change. At the same time, Prince William increasingly represents the next chapter of royal leadership. Consequently, stories involving Catherine, Princess of Wales, often attract attention because many people view the Princess of Wales as a symbol of that future. But another question soon surfaced. Could the controversy actually strengthen rather than weaken public support? History suggests that public reactions are rarely predictable. In some cases, criticism damages reputations. In other cases, scrutiny generates sympathy. And occasionally, attempts to create controversy end up drawing attention to qualities that supporters already admire. That possibility led many royal watchers to examine the response itself rather than the original allegations. How would Catherine, Princess of Wales, respond? Would Kensington Palace issue a statement? Would Prince William publicly address the matter? Or would the royal household rely on its traditional strategy of patience and restraint? Interestingly, palace silence often creates as much discussion as palace statements. When officials remain quiet, observers naturally begin searching for explanations. Is silence a sign of confidence, a sign of caution, or simply a refusal to fuel further speculation? No immediate answer appeared. Yet the absence of an answer only intensified public curiosity. As media outlets continued analyzing every development, attention slowly moved toward another issue that had been hiding beneath the surface from the very beginning. The story was no longer only about a disputed event. It was becoming a story about influence. Who shapes public perception? Who controls the narrative? And who ultimately benefits when uncertainty dominates the conversation? Those questions would soon become impossible to ignore. Because behind the headlines and public debate, a series of developments was beginning to unfold that would dramatically change how many observers viewed the entire situation. And what emerged next would raise even more questions than the controversy that started it. As the controversy continued dominating discussions among royal watchers, journalists, and commentators, a surprising shift began to emerge. What had initially appeared to be a debate about a single reported incident was evolving into something much broader. Increasingly, attention was turning toward the powerful relationship between reputation and influence inside one of the world's most closely observed institutions. For many observers, the situation highlighted a reality that often remains hidden behind ceremonial appearances and official engagements. The royal family does not simply function as a family. The royal family also operates as a symbol. Every public appearance, every charitable initiative, every carefully planned event contributes to a larger narrative about stability, continuity, and national identity. Because of that reality, reputation is not merely a personal matter. Reputation becomes an institutional asset. That is why controversies involving senior royals frequently attract so much attention. The public understands that individual perceptions can eventually influence broader perceptions of the monarchy itself. As discussions intensified, many commentators began comparing the situation to previous periods of royal history. Throughout the 20th and 21st centuries, members of the royal family have repeatedly discovered that public image can become one of the most valuable forms of influence available within royal life. In many respects, popularity creates its own form of power. Not constitutional power, not political power, but the ability to shape public sentiment. And few figures currently possess that kind of influence more effectively than Catherine, Princess of Wales. For years, Catherine, Princess of Wales, has consistently ranked among the most popular members of the royal family. Polls, public appearances, and media coverage have frequently demonstrated strong support for Catherine, Princess of Wales, across multiple generations. Royal analysts often point to several reasons. Many believe Catherine, Princess of Wales, successfully balances tradition with modern expectations. Others argue that Catherine, Princess of Wales, projects stability during periods of uncertainty. Some simply view Catherine, Princess of Wales, as relatable despite extraordinary circumstances. Whatever the explanation may be, one fact remains difficult to ignore. The public pays close attention to Catherine, Princess of Wales. And whenever public attention reaches that level, competing narratives inevitably emerge. This led observers to ask another fascinating question. Was the growing controversy actually revealing deeper anxieties about the future of the monarchy? King Charles III continues leading the institution through a period of transition. Meanwhile, Prince William increasingly represents the monarchy's next chapter. Every successful engagement completed by Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, reinforces public awareness that a future reign is gradually approaching. Perhaps that explains why discussions surrounding Catherine, Princess of Wales, often generate such intense reactions. Many people are not merely evaluating the present. They are imagining the future. What kind of king will Prince William become? What kind of queen will Catherine, Princess of Wales, become? How will the monarchy evolve during the coming decades? These larger questions quietly influence how many observers interpret current events. But another development soon complicated the conversation even further. Several experienced royal commentators began emphasizing the dangers of drawing conclusions before complete information becomes available. History offers countless examples of stories that appeared straightforward at first glance but later revealed unexpected complexities. In royal reporting especially, initial narratives do not always survive closer examination. That observation encouraged many viewers to adopt a more cautious perspective. Instead of choosing sides immediately, some observers focused on identifying what could actually be confirmed. What information came directly from official sources? What information originated from unnamed sources? What details remained disputed? What questions remained unanswered? Those questions became increasingly important as speculation continued spreading across media platforms. Interestingly, the longer the discussion continued, the more attention shifted toward the process itself. How are royal narratives created? How do certain stories gain momentum? Why do some controversies disappear within days while others continue generating headlines for weeks or even months? The answers were far from simple. Media organizations compete for attention. Social media rewards emotional reactions. Commentators offer competing interpretations. Public figures become symbols onto which larger cultural debates are projected. Together, those forces create an environment where perception can sometimes move faster than verification. And that realization brought many observers back to the central mystery. If the public conversation was becoming increasingly complicated, what was actually happening behind palace walls? Were senior royal advisors concerned about the growing debate? Was Kensington Palace preparing a strategic response? Had Prince William privately discussed the situation with key members of the royal household? Or was the institution deliberately allowing the controversy to run its course? At this stage, nobody outside royal circles could answer those questions with certainty. Yet the uncertainty itself was becoming part of the story. The absence of clear answers encouraged even more speculation. The speculation generated even greater interest. And the greater interest attracted even more media attention. It was a cycle that showed no signs of slowing down. However, behind all the public discussion, another issue was quietly emerging. Some analysts believed the real significance of the controversy had very little to do with the original report. Instead, they argued that the situation was becoming a test of leadership, resilience, and public trust. If that interpretation proved correct, the most important chapter of this story had not yet been written, because the developments that followed would place extraordinary attention on how Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, and the wider royal household chose to navigate a rapidly evolving situation. And that response could ultimately determine how the entire episode would be remembered. By this stage, the controversy had grown far beyond the original headlines. What had started as a discussion surrounding a single report was now prompting much larger questions about leadership, public confidence, and the future direction of the monarchy. Royal commentators increasingly noted that moments like these often reveal more about institutions than about the events that triggered them. And that observation would soon become particularly relevant. Throughout modern royal history, some of the most significant challenges have not emerged from constitutional crises or political disputes. Instead, they have come from questions of perception. How does the monarchy maintain public trust during periods of uncertainty? How do senior royals respond when narratives begin developing beyond their control? For Prince William, the future king, those questions carry enormous significance. Unlike previous generations, Prince William operates within a media environment where public reactions unfold in real time. Every statement, every appearance, and every decision is instantly analyzed by audiences across Britain, North America, Australia, and beyond. As a result, leadership is no longer demonstrated solely through action. Leadership is also demonstrated through communication. And many observers believed this controversy was becoming a test of precisely that skill. Royal analysts pointed out that Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, have spent years carefully building a public image centered on stability, responsibility, and long-term commitment. Unlike more dramatic periods in royal history, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, have generally emphasized consistency rather than spectacle. That strategy has often worked remarkably well. However, moments of controversy inevitably test even the strongest reputations. The question now facing many observers was simple. Could years of public trust withstand weeks of intense scrutiny? At first glance, many believed the answer was obvious. Yet history suggests reputation is rarely protected by popularity alone. Public confidence must constantly be reinforced through actions, decisions, and transparency. That reality explains why so many commentators were paying close attention to the royal household's response. Interestingly, another dimension of the story was beginning to attract attention. Several royal experts argued that the controversy reflected a broader challenge facing the monarchy in the 21st century. Previous generations relied heavily on traditional media structures. Today, however, information moves through thousands of competing channels simultaneously. Television networks, newspapers, online publications, podcasts, social media platforms, independent commentators. Each source contributes its own interpretation. Each audience receives a slightly different version of events. The result is an environment where controlling a narrative becomes increasingly difficult. For institutions built on tradition and careful messaging, that presents a unique challenge. King Charles III has already encountered many aspects of this changing landscape during his reign. The transition from one monarch to another inevitably brings increased scrutiny, heightened expectations, and renewed debates about relevance and modernization. Meanwhile, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, continue finding themselves at the center of conversations about what the monarchy should look like in the decades ahead. This is where the story became particularly interesting. Some observers began arguing that the controversy itself was no longer the main issue. Instead, attention was shifting toward public expectations. What do people want from modern royal leadership? Do audiences expect greater transparency? Do they prefer traditional discretion? Should royal figures respond quickly to criticism? Or should they remain above public disputes altogether? The answers varied dramatically depending on who was asked. And those differing expectations helped explain why reactions to the controversy remained so divided. Yet another question soon emerged. Could the entire episode ultimately strengthen public support for Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales? At first, that possibility seemed unlikely. Controversies are generally viewed as threats. However, some analysts noted that difficult moments often reveal qualities that routine engagements cannot. Resilience, patience, discipline, composure under pressure. Those characteristics frequently become most visible during challenging periods. Many supporters argue that Catherine, Princess of Wales, had built a reputation precisely because of those qualities. Likewise, Prince William has often been praised for maintaining focus on long-term responsibilities rather than short-term headlines. If those perceptions remained intact, the controversy might eventually fade while reinforcing existing public confidence. But no one could yet predict the outcome. The story was still evolving. Questions remained unanswered. Interpretations continued changing, and public interest showed little sign of declining. Meanwhile, behind palace walls, advisors were undoubtedly aware of another reality. Every major controversy eventually reaches a turning point. A moment arrives when uncertainty gives way to clarity. A moment when competing narratives collide with verifiable facts. A moment when public attention suddenly shifts from speculation to conclusions. The critical question was whether that moment was approaching. Because if a decisive development emerged, it could reshape the entire conversation almost overnight. And according to several royal observers, signs were beginning to appear that such a turning point might be closer than many people realized. What happened next would not simply influence the controversy itself. It could influence how the public remembered everyone involved for years to come. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this deep dive analysis into the royal family, Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, King Charles III, and the future of the monarchy, be sure to subscribe and join our growing community. Your support helps us continue exploring the stories behind the headlines. Because in the next chapter, the focus would move away from speculation and toward the one thing that ultimately matters most in any royal controversy: public trust. And the battle for that trust was only beginning. As the controversy continued generating discussion across royal circles, media outlets, and online communities, many observers began arriving at a realization that may ultimately define how this entire episode is remembered. The most important question was never who won a public relations battle. The most important question was whether public trust had been strengthened or weakened by everything that followed. That distinction matters because the British monarchy has always relied upon something more powerful than headlines. The monarchy relies upon confidence. Confidence from the public. Confidence from supporters. Confidence that the institution can endure challenges while remaining stable. And throughout modern history, stability has often proven to be the monarchy's greatest strength. This is why royal analysts increasingly viewed the controversy through a broader lens. The discussion was no longer centered solely on a disputed story or conflicting interpretations. Instead, attention had shifted toward the qualities that people expect from future royal leadership. Many supporters pointed to Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, as representatives of continuity during a rapidly changing era. Prince William, the future king, has spent years preparing for responsibilities that will eventually place Prince William at the center of national life. Likewise, Catherine, Princess of Wales, has gradually become one of the most influential and recognizable members of the royal family. Together, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, symbolize a future that many supporters believe combines tradition with modernization. Yet that future depends heavily on public trust. And trust is not built during easy moments. Trust is built during difficult ones. When challenges emerge, people pay close attention to how leaders respond. Do they react emotionally? Do they remain composed? Do they focus on short-term victories or long-term stability? Those questions have always shaped public perception of royal figures. Perhaps that explains why so many people became invested in this story. At its core, the debate was never really about a single headline. The debate was about character. The debate was about leadership. And the debate was about what qualities the public wants to see from the next generation of the monarchy. Meanwhile, another fascinating development was becoming increasingly visible. Rather than reducing interest in the royal family, the controversy appeared to remind many people how deeply invested they remain in the institution's future. Every new discussion generated further conversations about King Charles III, Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and the broader direction of the monarchy itself. For critics, the story raised questions about transparency. For supporters, the story highlighted resilience. For neutral observers, the story demonstrated how complicated modern royal life has become. And perhaps that complexity explains why public fascination continues generation after generation. Because behind every headline exists a larger story. Behind every controversy exists a deeper question. And behind every public debate exists a struggle to understand what is actually true. That struggle has followed the royal family for decades. It existed during previous reigns. It exists today. And it will likely continue long into the future. As royal watchers reflected on everything that had unfolded, one conclusion appeared repeatedly. The future of the monarchy will not be determined solely by ceremonies, titles, or traditions. The future of the monarchy will also be shaped by credibility, trust, and the ability to navigate an increasingly demanding public environment. Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, will undoubtedly face many challenges in the years ahead. King Charles III continues leading during a period of significant transition. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle remain influential figures within ongoing discussions surrounding the modern monarchy. Every development contributes another chapter to a story that continues evolving before the world's eyes. And that brings us back to the central mystery that started this conversation. Was this controversy simply another short-lived royal headline destined to fade into history? Or was it a revealing glimpse into the pressures, expectations, and competing narratives that increasingly surround the future of the royal family? The answer may depend entirely on who is asked. Some observers believe the episode demonstrated the strength of established public trust. Others argue the situation exposed deeper challenges facing the institution. Still others believe the truth lies somewhere between those competing interpretations. And perhaps that uncertainty is exactly why stories like this continue capturing public attention. Because people are not merely watching events unfold. People are trying to understand what those events mean. As always, the most interesting part of any royal story is not simply what happened, but how different people interpret what happened. The royal family remains one of the most closely watched institutions in the world, and every controversy inevitably generates competing perspectives. So now we would like to hear from you. Do you believe situations like this ultimately strengthen public trust by encouraging greater scrutiny and discussion? Or do you think constant controversy makes it more difficult for the monarchy to maintain the stability and unity that many supporters value? And when you think about the future of Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, King Charles III, Prince Harry, and Meghan Markle, what do you believe will be the biggest challenge facing the royal family in the years ahead? Share your thoughts in the comments below because your perspective is an important part of this conversation. If you enjoyed this deep royal analysis, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our future discussions on the royal family, Buckingham Palace, Kensington Palace, royal duties, royal titles, and the future of the monarchy. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next royal story.